Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a bit of documentation on the whip. So, we got a lot to go over. It's got a lot of problems. Alright, it was in an accident. It's going to serve both as documentation for myself, so I know everything that's going on with my car, so I don't have to keep, coming back out here and reassessing. But, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of it, the worst part of it. So, we got this right here. This is by far the worst part of it, So, I was hit by a semi truck, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Pretty lucky to be alive, you know what I'm saying? It was all driver sighted. Can this motherfucker focus? There we go. Okay. Yeah, pretty bad right here. I was told by several people that this was unrecoverable. Okay. But to be honest with you, I just don't even see why that would be the case. It's gonna take a bit of effort, a bit of elbow grease. But other than that, so I can do a little bit of comparison. The worst part about this is I'm actually missing a piece here. But obviously right here it's a bit bent. It broke the windshield, you know what I'm saying? This little metal piece, it's not straight anymore. And that's by far gonna be the worst bit of it. It like bulges. There's this bit of a gap here. I could damn near fit my finger through it. I actually can fit my finger into it right down here. You know what I'm saying? So that needs to be straight. These little plastic pieces in here, those are like clips for this part over here. So this little black thing, this is the part that I said was missing, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty brutal. The fact that it got completely wiped out in the crash. Maybe I should have done a little bit better of a job of, picking up the pieces, but I was pretty fucked up at the time, fucked up mentally by the fact that I just crashed my car. I was very happy to be alive, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't exactly focused on picking up the plastic pieces up off the road. No, I'm saying, so, yeah, so you can kind of see that same part that is bent on the other side. It's not so bent over here, and it's pretty chill. It's pretty chill. This is what we want it to look like. I've taken the weather stripping off, so that you can actually see it, and so that I can see it. So, yeah, you come back over here. You can see, yeah, obviously that black piece is not here. This is dented in, so I'm gonna have to pull that up and out, you know what I'm saying? And then this little bit of frame damage right here, I don't think that this is necessarily gonna be a problem. The worst part about it is that it's gonna be rusting, because I mean the door still closes fine, and obviously if the door itself wasn't damaged in, it wouldn't close as fine. But yeah, we're gonna cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't know exactly what the solution with the door is going to be. I've come to a couple different ideas, resolutions perhaps, of, I could take a new door, whole new door, slap it on there, you know what I'm saying? And then, just fully replace the door. But there's also a couple other options. I'm thinking I might be able to take this, outside panel, just the outside panel off, the whole white bit, and then use everything else, like the door handle, this is still fine. This is a power window, this is still fine. All the inside plastic pieces, everything like this, the switches, all that stuff is still fine. This still works. Obviously, the speaker in there, I presume, still works. So I don't really see why I'd have to replace the whole door. And I found a listing of just the outside door panel online, but I couldn't find the whole door. So that might be the solution, is I literally MacGyver back together this door. There's also this is going to be a pain in the ass, this bent piece of trim. I don't know necessarily what you'd call this. It's just kind of trim. That might just have to look ugly, unfortunately. But yeah. Other than that, this window's broken. There's no window in there at all. You know what I'm saying? That shit is gone. Fucking eviscerated into my face. There's obviously this right here. This fender is all bent in pretty bad. Can't even open the door all the way because it's all fucked. This is like $125, you know, online. I found that online too, so that's not too bad. Obviously we got all this going on. I mean, this just needs a clean up, you know what I'm saying? I still haven't cleaned this up. This is over a year ago, and you know, still haven't gotten around to clean it up because I haven't gotten around to fixing it. You know, why does it need to look clean if it, you know, is in a fucking state like this? One of the most pissed things I am about this is that, you know, these rims are only on the special edition. These white rims, they're only on the special edition, and I nicked the fuck out of it right there. And it's kind of fucked up over here. But other than that, you know, they're still perfectly fine. You know, the tires completely slid off of the rims when it happened, but I got new tires put on there. These are brand new tires, you know what I'm saying? You know, because apparently, or I guess I'll get into that in a minute, but we got, you know, missing piece of trim right there. Gonna have to figure something out about that. That's pretty ugly as well. This is fucked up. I hate this. I wish I would have put some sort of rust coating on it so it wasn't rusting so fucking bad. Yeah, and then we got this. We got this bumper. That shit's all fucked up. I'm kind of thinking, so like right here, these little clips right here, you can see, well, I can't really see it on the video. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Those little bolts in there, obviously, oh shit. Oh, fuck. Come on, focus. Okay, maybe just stop blocking the exposure. There we go. Yeah, those little bolts in there, these little plastic clips are supposed to go over those bolts. Or I guess those bolts are supposed to go through these. But they're clearly broken. But honestly, I think I could probably still just, you know, take whatever this part is off and then unscrew those bolts, screw them back in, just back through these holes. And it'll probably hold, you know, as long as I don't get another crash. I mean, I think it's going to be fine. I don't think like me hitting a pothole is going to make it come through those little plastic gaps. I mean, I don't even understand how that happened. I think it was more like in the crash, this shit just got like pulled, like the little bolts got pulled through the holes. It wasn't necessarily like it actually like broke, or like went through these cracks, obviously, because this shit would be more fucked up if it actually went through the crack. I think it just got pulled through the hole and it got broken in that process. So I think it'll be fine if I just slap another bolt in there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like, I mean, I can pull this up a bit. Not really. It was kind of working better earlier. I got it better with two hands, you know. But yeah, this is pretty fucked up. This is pretty fucked up right here. I'm kind of hoping to salvage this bumper because this car is pretty rare and it's hard to find like these body panels and shit for them, but eventually this is obviously going to have to get replaced. I don't want this sitting here like this forever. But, you know, just to get it running, like, look at this shit, bro. Like, fuck. Come on. Fucked up. Just to get it running, you know. We'll take some sacrifices. We'll drive it in a scuffed manner. Not looking so pretty in public, but eventually the goal is to get this back to its beautiful pre-crash form, because this car is absolutely beautiful. I haven't even mentioned it's an Acura Integra, a first gen 1998 Acura Integra. It's an absolute beaut. And as you can see right here, this isn't like no wink light. I ain't got no wink button in there, bro. This is broken. This is broken. It's not a horrible fix, though. This little lever, you can kind of see that, you know, that's not connected to nothing. But if I can't really get it on the video. So basically, this lever has to connect down to the motor for the pop-up, and then it's literally just a bolt. I think the motor still works. Yeah, so I literally just need to put a bolt through that little lever and then attach it back to the motor, and it will be chilling. What is this? What the fuck? I just pulled that up off there. Is that for the headlight? That might be part of the headlight. Like, that might... I don't want to twist that, but it's clearly telling me to twist it. Like, I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to twist nothing. But honestly, man, this thing still looks beautiful on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing here is fucked up. It's got the black top. Some of them got the brown top. I got the black top. But yeah, this thing is looking pretty, in my opinion. Another thing that happened in the accident, this thing was all janked up by whoever owned it before. It had like a fucked up battery mount. It was like literally just like a piece of metal screwed into this motherfucker. That thing is just gone. I don't even know where it went. I don't even see it down in the engine bay or nothing. So the battery's just like free floating here. It moves around a bit. And also, you'll notice this. I just noticed this a little bit ago. This battery terminal is clearly the standard one, like the normal one, and then this one, I don't even know what this is. Like, yeah, I never noticed this before, but yeah, this thing was janked up. Like, something happened, and they had to do some jank shit to make it work. But yeah. But you come over to this side, this thing still looks pretty, dude. It still looks beautiful. And that's what she looks like, without all the damage. It's an absolute beautiful piece. So, we're working. We're going to be working on this motherfucker. I'll probably record a little bit of it. Probably not all of it, because a lot of it will be probably pretty boring stuff. But there's not many videos about the 88 Acura Integra, or the first gen Acura Integra in general, on YouTube, In the last 2 weeks, there was only one video posted, and it was from a car show. And it wasn't even the own guy's car. And there's no tutorials on how to fix this stuff on YouTube. I got the book, you know what I'm saying? The book. So, we'll be putting into work. Yeah. I mean, this is the worst of it. Obviously, I need a new windshield. There's another problem that I don't fully understand. So, obviously, I put new tires on it. And the guys at the shop were moving the car around, because the engine is fine. And everything was fine. But I had to get a homie to deliver my car to me because it was out of state. It was back where I used to live. It was out of state. So I had to get a homie, actually the whole group of homies. Shout out Seth, shout out Cooper, shout out Nathan. They all pulled up, particularly Cooper. Cooper was the one that facilitated it. Shout out the homies. Yeah, it wouldn't be here without the boys. So shout out them. But in that process, my homie, they obviously had to try to move the car as well. Get it on the trailer sort of situation. And what I heard, a little birdie told me, is that this baby wasn't moving. She wasn't moving when they tried to move it, but it was moving prior to them picking it up. So I got a couple theories about that. It's a stick, and my homie drives stick. He has stick cars himself. He knows how to drive stick. Seth, my boy. But he was telling me that this bitch wasn't working. That, for whatever reason, he was giving it the beans, and it wasn't working. So there's a couple theories I have for that. Number one, sometimes you can kind of put it into first, but it doesn't really go all the way. It actually really hasn't been doing it since I got the car back. But you can put it into first sometimes, and it won't actually be in first. It'll just kind of feel like it is. So there's the theory that he kind of just had it in neutral, and he was giving it the beans. It wasn't working, and he was scared. But knowing my boy Seth, he would do what I'm doing right here. He would take it from neutral into first, back to neutral. Give it a few little jiggles to make sure that wasn't the problem. Because Seth's not a dumb guy. And I trust his judgment. So there's a couple other theories I have for that. When they were moving it, it had been sitting for a couple years, maybe not a couple years, a year, and his battery was fully dead. You know what I'm saying? This battery was fully dead, so they had it set up to the trickle charger. Okay, so they had the trickle charger on this bitch, and there's the theory that maybe the engine just wasn't getting enough power from the trickle charger, because it was like one of those little guys, not like a whole like battery setup like that was like attached to a building, but just like a little box you set here, and you hook up to the battery. So they were using that. Which might have meant that the engine itself wasn't getting enough power, even though it sounded like it was giving it the beans, He said it made a horrible noise when he tried to give it the beans, And apparently it moved, just not much. And he had to really give it his all to get it to move. And yeah, we ended up pushing it once they got it here. So that's like one of my biggest issues. Because, I just don't even know what the problem is, because like I have no clue how to, quote that shit. I don't know how much it's going to cost because I don't know what the problem is. There's a chance the clutch is just fried. There's a chance that the transmission got fucked up in the accident. But again, the guys at the shop are moving it around. The guys that put the tires on the car, they're moving it around just fine. So it's a little confusing. It's totally possible that my boy just fried the clutch. Not to blame him, they got the car here, and that was the cost of getting the car here. Maybe he just had to fry the clutch, and that was just fate. So I ain't mad about that. I just gotta figure it out. Right? Other than that, I was being a goon the last time I was driving this car, and these brakes are fucked. I know these front brakes are completely fried to the point that the brake pads are probably just gone. There's probably not even brake pads on there anymore. And it's just been grinding the fucking rotor for me to be able to brake. So I'm going to need some new rotors for that. Just more bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, though, I think that might be all we need. It obviously is going to need an oil change. It's been sitting with the same oil in it for over a year. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I would have gotten to fucking taking this shit out when I had a chance. But we're chilling, honestly. We're chilling. It's an old car. These engines are made of different materials than these new cars, bro. I swear to God, this thing can hold up to time. It's been chilling for the last 35 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too worried about that. I'm sure it's had stints of sitting for some time before. So, we're going to treat it right from here on out. This is my baby. This was my first car, That's why I'm going through so much effort to salvage it. I bounced it around from different places, having different people, hold it at their crib, or eventually I just put it at the shop that I was talking about. I kind of just like forced them to hold it because they weren't legally allowed to move it without, the title itself. So I kind of, finessed them a little bit for that, So, yeah, honestly, hopefully the next time you hear about the whip, she'll be looking a little bit more pretty. Perhaps. Maybe she won't be looking so much more pretty, but maybe I'll be in the process of doing so. Other than that, if anybody has any recommendations, how to fix some frame damage like this, because this is seriously not crazy frame damage. I was looking into getting one of those, like, it's mainly used for, like, body panels, like, dents like this, but it's like, I think it's called a stud welder, or something like that, where you weld little studs onto the metal, and then you use, like, a little tool and, like, pull on the studs to get the dents out. And I was kind of thinking that might work here. But that kind of seems like an imperfect method. Like I'm not going to be able to gauge how much I'm pulling it out and whatever. And obviously, this dent doesn't matter as much as this dent here. Like this, the main reason I even need to fix this, like honestly, if it was up to me, I might just straight up just keep it like that. If I could just slot a new windshield in there, I might just leave it, and just get a new, like, whatever panel for the door, so it doesn't look so bad. Because like a little bend right here, that's not a big deal, especially if I can get that, new piece, or like this black piece that's over here. This little black guy right here, this black fellow. I'm thinking I can just most likely 3D print this though, because I know folks with 3D printers. So I'm hoping that like will be as simple as taking this one off, giving it to the guy with the 3D printer. He can make I don't even know what you would call it, like the little like 3D model blueprint or whatever, the 3D model for the fucking piece, and then he just goes and prints it. And it'll be as simple as that. I just slot it back on there, But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the car update. The 1988 Acura Integra car update, number 1. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this thing fixed. Hope you guys enjoyed. Same with all the other videos. Drop like a little like story or something like that in the comments. I love reading the little like life events that you guys may have. I love all of that. So if you have any story, any sort of topic, something that's happened to you in your life, maybe you want some advice, I would love to just like feature that on the show. Whatever next video I make, probably another Taco Bell review. So I love hearing anything like that. Like just drop, and what I mean by that is, just like drop, let's say, let's say your boss is being a dickhead at work, and you don't know what to do about it because he's your boss. Just drop me the situation in the comments, and I'll read it in the next video, and I'll just give you my input. I won't necessarily say it'll be great. I'm not no qualified professional on any sort of subject, especially not no mental health shit. But even if it is some mental health shit, I'll give you my 2 cents. I'll give you the second opinion. That's number one thing I will say. I will give you a second opinion, whatever that second opinion may be. I don't necessarily know because I don't know the topic, but you can take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I would just love a little bit of interaction with the folks. Hear what you guys got going on in your lives. But yeah,